Okay, Jack. I stole this one off Facebook, Jack.
He didn't have to put his picture in.
I had to show Jack. I quite like Jack.
Did you ask Jack?
No, it was on Facebook. It's on public domain.
Yeah, but now Jack, everyone knows Jack's question.
Yeah, but everyone knows Jack. Jack's fantastic. He's a 20-year-old bricklayer.
Is Jack on the line?
I've checked. He's not there. Wrong Jack.
Oh, wrong Jack.
Jack's 20. He's a youngster. He's a bricklayer. He's just getting his building license now, and as a youngster, he hasn't got much savings, but he does have a motorbike that's worth $20,000. Motivated to get going, and he wants to retire like Kate and Matt, your 25-year-old retirees.
Retiring on 350 grand a year.
Yeah.
All right, Jack, sell that goddamn motorbike. That's what you got to get started with. Then that's what you've got. You know, if you don't sell a motorbike, you don't have 20 grand to start with. Then you're starting with absolutely nothing. Now you can move from that position, but you're going to have to work harder. You're going to have to be the worker bee. You're going to be the one that finds the deals, does all the work. You know, fit it in around everything else that you do, etc., and then splits the profit with the person who is what?
One of our students who I've been making him sell stuff for the last 2 years just said, no, don't sell the motorbike.
Sell the motorbike. If you don't sell the motorbike, then it's going to be a harder road for you because you won't. You'll have to work harder. You're going to have to be the worker in all of that. So it's not impossible. You can absolutely do it from that perspective, but it's an easier road if you do have a little bit of flexibility there from equity to be able to go and do something. And 20 grand is 20 grand. Now, given that it is 20 grand, it's not a lot of money. With 20 grand, you could do no money down deals. You could do seller JVs where you are the one that actually does the, improves the property, things like that. Maybe gets a strata through or a subdivision or those types of things because you've got a little bit of money there to play with. So seller JVs are very, very good. And, I encourage you, Jack, to go back and listen to the webinar that I did just on seller JVs because they really are the untouched jewel in the crown at the moment. And there's plenty of them right around the country. And they're great for starting with very little money. You can be the worker, like I say. You've got good trading ability there. You're good with your hands, etc. You've got a skill. I'm sure you've got tradie mates that you can bring in to do things as well. So you're starting from a very strong position from a hands-on perspective, but a weak position from an equity perspective. So even though you say you want to be like Kate and Matt and replace your income, you need to do an equity deal first. I'm sorry, it's not an income deal. You need to be building that up. I want to see that $20,000 over $200,000 before you start getting into strong income deals. You might be able to do a couple of set and forgets along the way. In fact, I was talking to a chap yesterday who I think he was starting with, not a lot. I think he was starting with about $40,000, so double what you've got, but not much more. And he bought a low-end deal. He bought a property that was very rundown. He got a 95% loan where the mortgage insurance was capitalised into the loan. I think he got the property for about $200,000. So, not a lot of money in the deal. He's got to work hard. He's got to throw his personal skills into actually improving that property. But it's a property that's got a 3-bedroom house and a 2-bedroom granny flat already sitting on it. So both are pretty bad, I might add. But, he's buying stuff off eBay and he's negotiating on getting secondhand kitchens and all of this kind of stuff to put into the property. And he's able to actually increase the value. Now, he actually went in a little bit before settlement and he actually increased the value of the property by $15,000 just before settlement even because he was concerned that the valuer wouldn't even value it at what he paid for it because it was such a rundown property. But he valued it over the purchase price, which is practically unheard of in the finance industry. It doesn't mean that the bank will lend him on that amount, but it gives them confidence to give him the 95% loan. So he's into that property. It'll take him a little while to do some fix-ups on the property, but he can now get tenants in the front, and that will look after the property while he then goes in and renovates the 2-bedroom granny flat. So it's effectively 5 bedrooms there, and it'll be positive cash flow, about 15 grand when he's finished. So nice little positive cash flow. And looking at the comparable sales analysis with other renovated properties in the area, he should be able to refinance that property when it's all fixed up and tenants are in there, get all of his money back and possibly a little bit more, and go again. And that's what you need to do. So you can do set and forgets, but they're going to need to be low end, and you're going to need to do a lot of work on them. Or you can be the worker for somebody else. You can be a JV with a seller. You can go and do low end properties yourself and sell them on and make more money and go back in and make more money and go back in. So there's lots of opportunity for you, Jack, but you are going to have to work at it. And sitting on the couch and not being on the webinar tonight is not good. I will be rousing severely.
I mean, and the same can be said. With that $20,000, you could go off and just get a development approval on a site.
Agreed.
As an option, or even with the seller or with the owner, and then sell it to a developer. So, and this is also perfect for those people that have a deal currently in place where they are tied up, and their money's tied up in the current deal, and it's in council at the moment, and they're just chomping at the bit to do another deal, and they could go off and do a seller JV with someone. They could be doing
any of the stuff that we talked about there with Jack.
Exactly the same with Jack. So it can constantly be in the game with it.
I mean, that's what, reminds me of Jason and Amy, and I talk about them all the time, but, they started off 4.5 years ago, and the only deal they could do was a $79,000 deal in the middle of Whoop-Whoopville. Now they're doing multi-million-dollar deals. They did joint ventures with other students that were out there where they were the worker, and they made money on that. They've done their own projects once they got a little bit of equity to go again. And while they're doing their own projects, they're doing joint ventures with others, and they're still doing that. And it's, today, as I say, they're multi-millionaires. And 4.5 years ago, all they could afford was a $79,000 property in, where was it? Narrandera.
And don't discount the value of the stuff that you've got around your own home as well. A couple of years ago, the motorhome that we had that was probably worth about maybe $35,000, we swapped for a property in Brisbane, and that property is now $3,000 passive income. I didn't even have to go for the loan. All we did,
and grown in value.
And I didn't have to go for the loan. All we did was took over his loan. We've got an option on the property. We just pay the cost of all the property every week.